The most underrated part of the rap industry is rappers' thoughts about each other during interviews. From love, hate, and jealousy, it is entertainment gold. As Snoop Dogg himself has a very interesting take on Eminem. Snoop thinks that Eminem did have a great career, but he isn't in the top 10 of all time still.
Eminem in a position where he could be labeled as one of the top 10 rappers ever. I don't think so, but the game feels like he's top 10. You understand me? I ain't got no time to play with it. It is what it is. It's like, Cuz did that. But when you talking about this hip hop that I can't live without, I can live without that.
As this would go on to break the internet, Eminem would even respond to Snoop Dogg in his track titled Zeus, where he would say, and I quote, "As far as squashing beef, I'm used to people knocking me, but just not in my camp. The last thing I need is Snoop Dogg in me. Man, dog, you was like a god to me. Nah, not really. I had dog backwards." Eminem would even further go on to comment during a Shade 45 interview, where he would say, "Everything he said, by the way, was fine up to a point. It was the last statement where he said, as far as music I can live without, I can live without that. Now you're just being disrespectful," and it caught me off guard. Snoop Dogg would end up responding to the song by saying, and I quote, "Pray I don't answer that soft stuff," as just a few months later, Snoop Dogg would end up eating his words, where in an interview he would say, and I quote, "I was wrong. Do you forgive me, bro?" Where Eminem would later hop on an interview sharing that the two had resolved their issues with each other.
I don't remember if I called him or he called me, I can't remember, but
yeah,
we talked it out, and I think that there was a miscommunication at the time in regards to him being on my album, The Mathers LP. And I think he said the way that he took it was kind of like that I don't with him.
However, Eminem would get the last laugh. Snoop Dogg would want to feature Eminem on a track, to which Eminem made Snoop Dogg pay his feature fee and donate it all to a charity. The song is titled From the D to the LBC, where they both pay homage to their cities. However, there's been other multiple old school rappers that have spoken out on Eminem, as we even saw Lil Wayne and Kid Cudi talking about their experience with the GOAT.
I just was like, man, let's send it to him. You know, the worst that can happen is he doesn't. Man, I got him on the phone. I had to tell him, I was like, yo, bro, like, you destroyed it.
I mean, I already know.
It was like, you know, because I was nervous, because I was like, man, like, I'm like, gonna get Eminem on my song, he gonna body me on my own.
As Lil Wayne even went on to talk about how he made sure that Eminem didn't body him on his own track when he collaborated with Eminem.
You're probably the only person that did a record with M that they said that M didn't body. How do you feel about that?
I can humbly say I expected that. You're not gonna do me this. Either we gonna be right here with it and just make a beautiful, wonderful, great song, but you ain't gonna do me that. And so that's what we did. Yeah, we just made a wonderful, great song. I ain't hear nobody ever say nobody body each other, nothing like that.
Drake's interaction with Eminem was something special, as Drake was on tour and he was able to surprise the crowd with an Eminem appearance during a live concert. He would go on to say this before they performed, giving extremely high praise to Eminem.
Some noise for the greatest rapper to ever get on a microphone. He goes by the name of Eminem.
Nothing was as special as the Eminem track with Akon, where Eminem would go on to work with Akon, creating the hit song titled Smack That, as Akon would reminisce on how professional and talented Eminem was in the studio.
Working with him made me look at the business different, because he was the first artist that I worked with that actually treated business like a real job. He comes in at 9 a.m. every day to the studio, takes his lunch break at 1, and is out of there by 5 p.m. First day I came around 6. I'm expecting, okay, we're gonna do an evening session, get this studio. Oh, M just left. Yo, M, where you at? He said, I'm out of here. I said, well, I'm at the studio, I just got here. You coming back? He said, I'll be back there at 9 a.m.
As this would even lead into another collaborator of Eminem. Nicki Minaj would even speak on the experience of being able to work with Eminem, giving us, the viewer, the experience of how it would be with Eminem in the studio.
So I sent him one record and he didn't love it. He didn't say I didn't love it, but he just said, could you send me something that's a little bit more me? But like with M, he had the respect at least to treat me like a peer and say, you know what, I think it's, but I don't think it's me. And I just was like, I respect that so much.
We even saw 50 Cent share his backstory with the GOAT. 50 Cent, who has had a long friendship with Eminem lasting over 2 decades, giving insight on what it was like to be signed to Eminem's record label, Shady Records. From becoming friends in the early 2000s to performing at Super Bowl 56 together, these two rappers have gone through a lot in the music industry. 50 Cent would even hop on an interview to share,
it's not a lot of those artists that actually
get into the songwriting, real songwriting, and move those talents over. M, one of the guys from that platform that made it to that point, like that strong of a writer. And he means more to music culture than people give him credit for.
As 50 would even follow it up, stating how Eminem could literally handle anyone, as he's got the best diss tracks in the entire music industry.
You gotta be careful or you'll get handed to you on the track, man. Like, he'll get to you. If he's in the right headspace, he'll do it to anybody in music.
Further proving that nobody can even get on the same level as Eminem is the entire MGK beef, where MGK switched up his entire genre of music by the time that Eminem was done with him. But 50 Cent wasn't done here. He would go on to share this in 2014.
The one Grammy I have is for Crack a Bottle. I couldn't even have that without him. You know, and that's why I have so much value for him, one of my best friends, because I can trust that he's gonna be honest with his constructive criticism when it's time to listen to the music before it goes out.
As it's great to see that despite 20 years passing since the signing of Shady Records, these two are extremely loyal and friends to this day. Eminem feels the exact same way towards 50 Cent, as he would even say so in this speech.
Not only like a business partner to me, it's one of the best friends I've ever known in the world. I would say that it's much more fun to be his friend than it is to be his enemy, because this guy is relentless.
While it seems like all rappers love Eminem, there was a few that took their chances at dissing him, and it all ended badly. The beef between Eminem and Ja Rule really showed how powerful of a rapper Eminem is. And it is also pretty evident that Eminem still has harsh feelings towards Ja, as this feud started off way back when 50 Cent was first starting his own career in the rap game. 50 Cent decided to talk to Ja Rule about signing to his label, but Ja Rule laughed in 50 Cent's face. He even went on to diss 50 Cent, stating that he was jealous and that he was the official rapper of the Queens. Things would even get physical to the point where Ja Rule and 50 Cent threw hands at an Atlanta nightclub. But this is where Eminem comes into play. As many of you know, 50 Cent went on to sign with Eminem's record label, and one of the first singles that he released was titled Wanksta. This was a direct diss track at Ja Rule. Ja Rule even then came back with another diss titled Loose Chains, which not only went after 50 Cent, but it also went after Eminem, D12, G Unit, Dr. Dre, as well as the biggest mistake of Ja Rule's rap career, he dissed Eminem's daughter.
Like, I wasn't even gonna say nothing, to be honest with you. I didn't even address them directly until like Ja had said something about Haley.
Ja Rule made the mistake of mentioning Eminem's daughter Haley in the lyrics, where Ja raps, you claim your mother uses, and Kim is known to get around, so what's Haley gonna do when she grows up? This led into Eminem going back at full force, releasing two diss tracks at Ja Rule, the first titled Hail Mary, which featured 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes. He then released a second track, which literally tore Ja Rule's entire character down. This one is called Do Re Mi. The two tracks tore Ja Rule to bits. Line for line, his music career was ultimately done in only 48 hours. When everyone thought that Ja Rule was done, he then responded with another diss track titled In My Eye. This was known to be one of the weakest diss tracks of all time. In fact, after Ja Rule released it, he literally lost his entire fan base. When it was all said and done, Eminem dropped an interview. It really won fans over as it showed Eminem's true emotions.
But also at the same time, wanting to be a father. And if there ever comes a day that I would have to pick one or the other, you know, I already know what it would be. You know what I'm saying? I would walk away from all of this,
making it very clear that no one should ever diss Eminem in the rap game. However, Eminem has also shared a lot of love for newer rappers years ago. He was one of the first to show love for J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and even Big Sean. Eminem said, and I quote, "My role in today's hip-hop is to always try to be the best rapper. That's how I want to feel inside. I can't do that until I listen to what J. Cole just put out or what Kendrick just put out. And I'm thinking, oh, these dudes ain't playing. I don't want to get swept away in that shuffle. I still want to let everyone know who I am." Now, while Eminem is giving those rappers their praise, they have already shared how much Eminem meant to them growing up, as J. Cole would share just how influential Eminem was to his music career.
I speak for myself. I'm such a huge Eminem fan, and especially from his first 3 albums, I was like all the way in. You know what I mean? I'm still all the way in because he's still amazing. But you know, that was a point in my life, a very pivotal point in my rap career. My rap, my first song I ever made was literally just biting Eminem and Nas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you go listen, you would hear both influences.
He even followed it up, showing how crazy of a fan he was of Eminem while he was on the come up.
It's silly how big of an Eminem fan I am. You know what I mean? Like, select group of like top-notch people that I worship. You know what I mean? And that Eminem was literally at the top of that list. My first song just sounded like an Eminem bite.
Becoming a full circle moment, even Kendrick Lamar said in an interview that Eminem was definitely in his top 5.
Give me Jay, give me M, Pac, give me Big, yeah, and give me Snoop. These are the cats that inspire me like the most.
As Kendrick Lamar kept going, stating that his rapping attributes largely came from Eminem.
The clarity, I got my clarity just studying M. The day I heard Marshall Mathers LP, I was just, how does that work? What is he doing? How is he putting his words together like that? His time is impeccable, you know? When he want to fall off the beat is impeccable.
As finishing it off on the list that Eminem gave, Big Sean spoke very highly of Eminem while mentioning their collaborations on the song No Favors.
You know, I think he's been back. I don't think he ever left, but I feel like Eminem throughout his whole career has just tried and been very successful. Obviously, at everything. He's the biggest rapper of all time.
However, what rappers said about Tekashi 6ix9ine was very surprising, as 6ix9ine has easily become the most controversial rapper in the music industry. From snitching on his street team to constantly starting beef, most rappers do not like him. Rappers would also have a lot to say about Tekashi, so here's what you need to see. Back before 6ix9ine was arrested and had to snitch his way out of his court case, most rappers actually liked Tekashi 6ix9ine, such as Rap OG 50 Cent. For example, 50 Cent used to mentor 6ix9ine before his legal issues came around, as 6ix9ine reached out to 50 asking for help to escape the streets back before he was arrested. Now 50 Cent spoke about it in his book titled Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, where he said this.
Tekashi's image was of a tough, reckless instigator, but he was actually a sweet kid at heart. As his star rose, Tekashi and I began to build a friendship. One day he called and asked if he can come to my office. He had some run-ins with the law, and promoters were starting to get nervous booking him. He needed advice. Tekashi got right to the point. 50, what am I supposed to do? He was smart enough to know he was in over his head. Your biggest issue is going to be internal, I told him. You got too many people around you, and they're not really supporting you. They're supposed to be your team, but they don't have your best interests at heart. If you don't get that situation together, it's going to be a problem.
50 spoke further about it in an interview on Hot 97.
You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't being Tekashi 6ix9ine when he was around me, he was being Danny. Right. So he was going, so what I'm supposed to do? And I'll help him, trying to tell him what to do. You know what I'm saying? And then I did tell him not to go to Chicago. I told him, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You saying ain't nobody out there like the set of guys you got around you, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they did it anyway, but they did it to make fun instead of going out there like that.
Were you saddened by the way it played out with Tekashi?
Yeah, it was that definitely was. I'd never seen that.
Despite Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching on his street team to be released, 50 Cent still thought his rap career would continue to be successful.
I can't get a consensus from people about whether or not 6ix9ine is going to be able to be successful as a rapper after everything that he did.
I think he will be.
You think he will be successful?
Yeah.
You think that enough people, you think Tekashi 6ix9ine will be successful?
Yeah, I do. Those people would look at it and say, you wanted me to do 40 years for guys that slept with my girlfriend and took my money and was going to my mother?
Unfortunately, the two have been disconnected ever since 6ix9ine's release, as 6ix9ine spoke out saying, nah, I never really talked to him. The last time I talked to 50, he tried to get me a lawyer while I was locked up. That was actually the last time I ever communicated with him. Now, this is the case mostly because 50 Cent is from the old school era of rap, where if you snitch, you're cut off. But most old school rappers are not as nice to 6ix9ine as 50 Cent was, as we would see Snoop Dogg respond to 6ix9ine's release, where Snoop Dogg would say on Instagram, they gotta stop pushing this rat. All these media outlets making snitching cool. I'm old school. Screw 6ix9ine and everyone pushing his line right now. All New York G's feel me on this, and if you don't, F you too. At Meek Mill, if you allow sucker stuff, then you a sucker. Stay sucker free. Now 6ix9ine would actually respond to Snoop Dogg with an Instagram clip, showing that Suge Knight is alleging that Snoop Dogg is also a federal informant as well.
Snoop. Oh, Snoop would never come. I mean, Snoop was on, we beat a trial for him, but then he was on probation. Then he got caught with. And each time it's nothing. They're not gonna violate him. For the street guys know what I'm talking about. There's no puzzle. I mean, if you get a guy that constantly getting in trouble and never gonna come to prison, that's because he's an informant, he's a rat, a snitch, you know.
Now, Tekashi even followed it up by commenting, "If you're in denial, the paperwork is online, and Suge Knight speaks on it from prison, but we choose to ignore who we want to call rats." Now, Snoop Dogg got fired up after 6ix9ine continued going off on social media, where Snoop Dogg would respond by saying this.
Last time you said something, I ain't had time. But today, I got time. You better get off my line, rat boy. You really better leave me alone. I ain't the one. No way. No way. Go on and do your and get out my way. Dog head, rainbow head, dog head. Yeah, you. Better leave the dog alone.
Now, Snoop would ultimately respond to what Suge Knight said in the video, where he commented stating, "Everyone knows I have nothing to do with Suge Knight getting time. We had the same lawyers. This rat reached by calling me a snitch. FYI, he most likely drew up the papers. He does work with the feds. Suge and I are on great terms now. So if I told on him, we would never be cool, and that is a fact. So carry on." Now, the beef between the two went as far as Tekashi 6ix9ine releasing leaked videos of Snoop Dogg apparently cheating on his wife, with even adding a caption stating, "For 2 years while I was in jail, people started with me, trying to end my career. It didn't work. Now they say leave me alone? This is the world we live in. Go apologize to your wife." Now, while the Snoop Dogg and 6ix9ine drama got very intense, the beef between 6ix9ine and Lil Durk is completely something else. Now, this all began before Tekashi was arrested on his charges. In the summer of 2018, 6ix9ine and Lil Durk would hop on an IG Live together to try to calm down the feud between Tekashi and Chicago rapper Chief Keef. However, this wouldn't work, as 6ix9ine would then visit O Block later that year to try to prove that O Block was not really about it.
O Block right here, this what y'all wanted me in Chicago? O Block right here. I should call No Block, it's 10 o'clock. That ain't outside, it's only 10 p.m.
However, this would end up getting 6ix9ine being exposed just a few weeks later, as 6ix9ine claimed in the video that it was 10 o'clock, but security footage revealed that it was actually 3 in the morning. Not to mention that 6ix9ine was constantly looking around to make sure that nobody saw him, and even once a car began driving down the road, he would then quickly hurry back into his SUV and quickly drive off. But this would only be the beginning of Tekashi trying to mess with Lil Durk and King Von. When the news broke that 6ix9ine was snitching out of his 47-year prison sentence, Lil Durk would tweet out, "F6ix9ine, snitch." King Von would also tweet out when Nicki Minaj hopped on 6ix9ine's song titled Trolls by saying, "Damn, I used to love Nicki Minaj. I know so many guys that'll do anything to make it, go against every moral and break every code, trade on every friend just for a taste of the fast life. Desperate and easily moved people." Now, 6ix9ine would end up talking on DJ Academic's IG Live, stating that Lil Durk isn't a big enough rapper.
Durk try to drop, well, Lil Durk is just a local. We know he's a local. He's never had #1. Yeah, but all right, let me ask you something. Can Lil Durk sell out a tour? Can Lil Durk sell out 5,000 people in the Netherlands?
I wouldn't say.
In response to Tekashi 6ix9ine talking down on Lil Durk, he would respond during his verse on the Laugh Now Cry Later hit, stating, "Can you not play that little boy in the club, because we do not listen to rats." 6ix9ine continued to escalate the beef when he visited O Block once again, but this time with flowers in hand to mock Lil Durk's late cousin Newski. King Von would even go on to respond to that, stating that this is not even funny in the slightest and that he needs to stop playing around.
6ix9ine ain't cool. I don't know, they got this man running around. It's funny. Yeah, funny. This man, cause it's like this. I don't know. I don't get no 6ix9ine. I don't know. But he told him all type of people. They people locked up and his people, family members. And people gotta take care of them people, and them people got kids, and them people, you know, it's like he done told on. You have to heard he told on a lot of people, like, so I know it's people like he probably ain't did, and he told on them.
Lil Durk would also talk back to 6ix9ine during his own IG live as well.
Rat. You can't compete with a rat on the street, you know what I'm saying? And I keep telling y'all that. Start responding to that clown.
A few months after this IG live, King Von would then sadly pass. 6ix9ine would sadly use this as a continuation of his beef with Lil Durk, where he would comment on IG to Lil Durk's post saying, "Newski, now Von, you still rapping? Go pick up a firearm." He'd even take it as far as to the point where he printed out a picture of King Von, he placed it on a t-shirt, and started wearing it around the city. As 6ix9ine even said that he would get into the ring with Lil Durk during this clip.
Yeah. Yo, you get Lil Durk in the ring right now, I will volley him on King Bones. Yo, he gonna hit me with the he's doing right now. Nothing. He gonna hit me with the, yo, bro, you making it hot right now. Chill.
In one of the most recent 6ix9ine songs titled Jenny, 6ix9ine would bring out these lyrics. "Your man got hit, you made a diss track. Go get a strap and get some get back. Your man got hit, he's not coming back. Go get a strap and get some get back." Obviously being directed towards Lil Durk. Now this drama would then lead into another, but this one would be with none other than Meek Mill after 6ix9ine snitched. Meek Mill tweeted out, "6ix9ine going up in federal courthouse today. Message of the day, don't be an internet street member, just be yourself." Now it wouldn't be long before 6ix9ine began going after Meek Mill once he was released back into the free world. As 6ix9ine hopped on IG Live as soon as he was released, saying how he only snitched for how they treated him by sleeping with his baby mama and warning him about his family, Meek Mill would respond by saying, "I hope that rat is going live to apologize to the people he told on. Y'all forget that fast that a rat also got Nipsey. He wasn't supposed to be on the streets." Now 6ix9ine would actually respond stating, "Imagine having a newborn come into the world and you're pressed about a guy with rainbow hair." Now early on in 2021, the two would finally have an altercation between each other, and it was all captured from 6ix9ine himself recording it.
That's a fact. This is security. This is security. Look, and you with a cop. Look, you tight. And you with police.
And with all of the attention in the world going towards 6ix9ine, we would even see Eminem go after him in this video clip.
If someone's gonna hear you, they obviously heard of you, right?
Yeah, that's that.
How do you?
I think we went over that, but I do think that is important to stress, because if I feel like I never heard of you.
However, a lot of new school rappers feel like they are better than Tupac Shakur, who is one of the biggest legends in the music industry.
For example, with Tupac, his art was more than music. He was a writer, he was a poet.
I've been there. Man, bro, I'm better than Tupac, bro. Please don't compare me to him.
Tupac was the first rapper to me that could make you cry. Like I felt him that much. And, you know, me not knowing my dad and what's going on with my mom and the whole, like, it was just like, oh my God, that's me, you know?
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say this, Pac, you never know.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital, he was conscious in the ambulance, he was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
Tupac is considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's constantly talked about artists even till this day. Here's rappers' reactions to Tupac. Beginning with Snoop Dogg, he had a very close connection with Tupac before his untimely passing. From creating multiple songs together and constantly being around each other, Snoop Dogg had a lot of respect for Pac. He even shared on how Tupac changed the entire world with his musical talent.
Legacy is deeper than people could even imagine. I've been all over the world, and I see the Tupac legacy is so deep. You got people who live as if he was still here, and they believe he's still here through the way that they walk, the way that they talk.
However, just a couple days before Tupac would sadly pass, the relationship between the two would take a turn. From being best friends to Tupac not even liking Snoop Dogg at all.
What was you and Pac's relationship prior to his passing?
I say a week before we was best of friends. 2 days before I don't think he liked me.
Why?
and went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with him. And I just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like, hey, you talking about you want to do a song with him?
Although Snoop says it was just the way he felt at the time, since they were all cool at one point.
I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out. Pac, Biggie, Puff, Suge, all of us together. Just on some regular.
As Snoop Dogg would even speak on Tupac's hit song titled Hit 'Em Up, which was released only 3 months before his passing, where it continued to only escalate the rivalry between the East Coast and West Coast rap, with the lyrics throwing constant disses towards Biggie and his crew.
Even when he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it.
Right.
I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't like this to me. Like, it was you buying more problems, cuz. You're buying problems. It's everywhere. They make them everywhere. And I think when he got with us, he got to the mind state that we the mother and ain't nobody like us. Always people like us everywhere.
Snoop Dogg just wanted everything between the coast rivalries to calm down, and he didn't like how Tupac released that song just to put an even bigger target on his back. Snoop Dogg then jumped on an interview to say the falling out with Tupac just a couple of days before his passing could have actually saved his life, as on the night of Tupac's passing, Snoop Dogg was originally meant to be in the car with him and Suge Knight.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
But just like how Snoop Dogg was an OG in the rap game, we would even see the legendary producer of Dr. Dre speak his mind about Tupac during an interview back in the day, giving Tupac the highest of praise.
He was one of the most talented people I've worked with because, you know, the little time I spent working with him, he went in the studio. Usually people sit in the control room and write the lyrics and what have you to the tracks that I present. He went in the mic booth, put the headphones on. I let the track run down one time, instrumental. When I rewinded it, he said he was ready. He had his verse done, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was incredible, man. And you go in the studio and he'll complete 5 songs in one day.
Eventually, Dr. Dre would go on to help Eminem get involved in the rap game and start producing his music. Eminem was hugely impacted by the life and music career of Tupac, where Eminem would have this to say during an interview.
Tupac was the first rapper to me that could make you cry. Like I felt him that much. And, you know, me not knowing my dad and what was going on with my mom and the whole, like, it was just like, oh my God, that's me, you know?
He even described where he was the exact moment he heard that Tupac sadly passed, which made it seem like nothing else mattered in that moment.
Where were you in your career when Tupac?
Nowhere. When I heard that Tupac, I was cooking in the restaurant and tickets were piling up. And I'm like, I don't care, fire me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, that was devastating.
Eminem would even be the one responsible for producing Tupac's 5th album titled Loyal to the Game, which was released back in the year 2004. However, 50 Cent was able to hop on one of his songs. In the collaboration song titled Realest K's, released in 2003, 50 Cent would go on to speak about producing the song with him.
Called Realest. It was me and Tupac produced the track around the vocals because we had the instrumental. The production that was on the track, you know, is a little dated because Pac had recorded it, you know, so long ago that we redid the production. And it was exciting. Like, I enjoy that record more than I enjoy some of my solo records because I got a chance to work.
This is when we would even see Canadian rapper Drake speak in to talk about Tupac. Most importantly, in interviews and public statements. Drake has acknowledged Tupac's significant influence on his music career, where he shared this on the red carpet interview, wishing that he could be a bit more like Pac was.
If there's anybody I wish I could be a little more like, it would probably be Pac. I think more than anything, I mean, aside from his music, which was absolutely incredible, I think he just drove with people with who he was, the way he carried himself, how little he cared. He was somebody who genuinely was a free spirit. He did not care, you know, and he just did what he felt. And I wish I could have a little more Pac to my persona I'm working on.
Through his words and actions in the public eye, Drake continues to honor Tupac's legacy and keep his influence alive in today's rap game. Just like Drake did, J. Cole had spoken about Tupac's authenticity and his dedication to staying true to himself. As an artist deeply influenced by Tupac, J. Cole has strived to incorporate similar elements from Pac into his own music. He sees Tupac as a role model, and we even saw him share his thoughts on Tupac's latest album titled Machiavelli.
The album I'm going to be talking about is Tupac. We're gonna say Machiavelli, and the reason why I say this is the greatest album ever, or at least mine in my book, was because these were some of Pac's like most poetic lyrics I think of his career on this album. Couple that with the production on that album, which I think was top notch. A lot of live bass throughout the album, which I love. I love that album.
Not only would J. Cole speak on Pac, but we would even see another top rapper in the game, being none other than Kendrick Lamar, speaking his mind on how Tupac helped him grow as an artist.
How much does Tupac influence you on this album? Because I know you're very influenced by him, period.
Definitely. Storytelling was the whole niche of this album. I want to bring that back into the game. And what Pac showed me was really, not being scared to show, vulnerability in your music, because that makes, the biggest connection, with the audience.
Now, although Kendrick can appreciate everything Pac did for hip hop, there's another rapper that has had a very interesting life connection to Tupac, and that would be none other than A$AP Rocky, as he has detailed how and where he grew up, which happens to be practically identical to Tupac's life growing up.
Coming up in Harlem, I know just from being a Tupac head myself, he was born there. Does that influence you at all?
Yo, it does. Believe it or not, he was born in the same hospital. He was born, if I'm not mistaken, he was born in St. Luke's, and I was born in St. Luke's. He lived on 116th Street in Morningside. I was born on 116th in Morningside. He lived on 182nd and Bathgate Avenue. That's where I moved when I moved to the Bronx.
As A$AP Rocky would continue sharing how he's a fan and constantly looked up to the ones that pioneered the way before him.
No, I mean, I'm a fan, and I'm not too cool to say it. I'm still a fan, yo. Even like you, man, even back in the days and stuff that you was doing. It's just people, the pioneers who've been here before, they don't really get the acknowledgement that they deserve and the respect and credit, because the young, sometimes we forget, so, but me, man, I can't watch my peers because they don't influence me. They don't move me. No disrespect.
We would even see Chris Brown jump on an interview to share his thoughts about Tupac and how some artists consider him to be a modern day R&B Tupac.
I want to talk to you about your Tupac comparison. We've had Game in here, we've had Tyga in here. They say you have a lot of Tupac in you.
I mean, they kind of do that. I'd be like, man, don't do that. I just kind of identify with a young, male who deal with trials and tribulations and can express his art through his poetry, and also through everything I'm passionate, so I can identify with that.
However, someone that shared a close friendship with Tupac would be rapper Treach, as they worked on a couple albums together. He'd jump on an interview to share how they even met.
I met Pac actually on the Public tour. It was like 90. With Queen Latifah, I was out there. I was a roadie for her, performing with her. When we linked up there, it was that was the start of the whole thing. Every day we was together. Because we was, nobody knew us, but we came on stage, freestyle, did our thing on our own separate shows, but it was the same tour. It was experience we ain't never seen before.
He'd even share how they always looked out for each other, while also admiring everything that Tupac did while he was here.
We had the same thing that we were going for, from us just rolling places, doing things, the way we felt on situations. We knew that we was riders. Anytime we needed something, we could holler. If I was on his side, I call him when I land. He on my side, he called me when I land, and everything else is handled.
What did you think of him as a lyricist and as a rapper?
Come on, he was a prophet. He was a visionary. He had all elements.
Now, while we've seen many OGs respect Tupac, it is nice to see even the new school rappers share the same love. Despite all of the time passing and the game constantly changing, Tupac will always be remembered by the newer generation, as we would see Polo G jump on an interview to share how he feels about the impact of Tupac.
Talk to us about the influence, man. Pac and Wayne. Pac
just more so got a influence on me not being afraid,
to speak my mind.
This would later result in late legend Juice WRLD speaking on the origin of his name, which sure enough was inspired by Tupac.
Juice comes from the Tupac movie. It's one of my favorite movies. Also, I had the haircut because of that movie.
While Juice WRLD was directly inspired by Tupac for his name, Ty Dolla $ign met Tupac while he was young, as he speaks about meeting him during this interview.
One time I went over called the Oakwoods in LA. Yeah. And it was like my dad was doing some work with Digital Underground, and you know, he was down with them. Yeah. So when we went there, I just met a few people and they signed this a vinyl cover. So I had his signature and a couple other people. But I don't know what happened to that record.
Although a couple of new school rappers said pretty crazy things about Tupac, it was when Tekashi 6ix9ine was asked during an interview if his music was contributing to the world, where he would say, of course. And then he proceeded to mention Tupac's song Troublesome 96, which sparked a lot of rap beef in the industry way back in the day. 6ix9ine said, and I quote, "This is one of the biggest songs. What's the difference between that and Billy?" He goes on to mention a lyric from the song stating, "A born leader, never leave the crib without my heater," with 6ix9ine continuing saying, "You're telling me that he gave back through this art? You're lying to me. I gotta feed what is relevant in 2020. I gotta feed the masses. There's no difference between me and Tupac Shakur." Now that didn't settle well with a lot of rap OGs in the industry, but then we would even see XXXTentacion disrespect Tupac's legacy after he jumped on FaceTime with DJ Academics and said this.
For example, with Tupac, his art was more than music. He was a writer, he was a poet.
I've been there. Nigga, bro, I'm better than Tupac, bro. Please don't compare me to him. Please don't compare me to him. Please don't. Tupac can't make rock music. Tupac can't do that.
Wait,
Tupac couldn't do that.
Hold on.
Tupac didn't do that. Tupac was a dancer and a poet and a rapper.
But he was a revolutionary too, and a leader of men.
I don't give a. There's plenty of revolutionaries.
Now, while all of these rappers reacted to the legendary legacy of the late Tupac Shakur, some rappers still believe he's still alive, as we saw Suge Knight, who was very closely tied with Tupac, say this during interviews after he would sadly pass.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They love me.
Tupac was reported to have sadly passed after a week in the hospital following the incident that left him injured. Suge seems to think that Tupac did recover enough after the incident and he should have never been able to pass. Instead, he thinks that he made it all a setup, that way he can escape the East Coast and West Coast rivalry. Another very strange detail was the official report following Tupac's passing, as he was listed as 215 pounds. However, Tupac was a very slim guy, standing at 5'9". Most sources say that he only weighed around 160 pounds, as even Tupac's close friend Treach would speak about it, believing that Tupac went down to Cuba instead of passing, as you can hear him speak about it during this interview.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We good.
Then we would even see this particular photo of Suge and Tupac that's believed to have been taken down in Cuba, as they plan to meet up together after not seeing each other for over a decade. Then once again back in the late 2000s, we'd even see a video released to a news website that seems to capture Tupac in a parking lot down in Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
Many rappers consider NBA YoungBoy a legend in the industry already, but a lot of them like to diss him daily.
After I dropped a video on Instagram rapping it, and he commented under the video and wanted my number and stuff. YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this one.
Oh yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On this
Me and YoungBoy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of YoungBoy music.
What happened with you and YoungBoy?
I love him. He just on his journey right now. There's nothing he could do to make me stop loving him.
The thing on with YoungBoy.
It's just what the tweet said, y'all.
No. Listen. I don't want to think that I don't with YoungBoy.
Stop like that, man. I ain't even got nothing to do with the situation, man. Stop playing with me, son. I don't want no problem with you. Stay the out my way or get it done, man. Stop the like I said, man.
NBA YoungBoy is known to be one of the biggest rappers in the music industry. However, he's also one of the rappers with the most beef in the industry as well. One of NBA YoungBoy's most famous beefs is with King Von. King Von has many opinions on NBA YoungBoy. Von made sure to let the world know that he has never liked YoungBoy for 1 minute, saying that he caps in all of his raps on IG Live.
YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this game.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his man. On his cap. You got cap in your raps. Why be a straight when I catch him is that?
King Von never believed NBA YoungBoy was ever truly about it, so they stayed on bad terms all the way up until his passing. However, Von's very best friend Lil Durk has had a much different experience with NBA YoungBoy. In 2017, Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy dropped a song together titled My Side. Not long after its release, Durk would appear on a No Jumper interview to let Adam22 know that he wants Rondo No. 9 and YoungBoy to make a song together.
If I don't do nothing, I'm making him and NBA YoungBoy do a mixtape.
Wow.
For sure. I'm gonna stand on top of that.
Damn, that's crazy. That's somebody you're a huge fan of right now?
YoungBoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, with him.
He got that soul, that passion, and
Okay. With him. Like 100%, like hard.
For sure,
Like,
yeah.
He my top 5 for sure.
Even after the high praise of NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk's thoughts have changed towards YoungBoy after the King Von situation went down, leading to Lil Durk dropping multiple songs and even going after NBA YoungBoy. As very recently, Durk would say this during a DJ Academics interview.
What's the issue with you and YoungBoy? Like, how did it start? Because this is
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't know. Listen.
The whole situation that happened
man,
with Quando.
How we live and how we go about, and I'm speaking for the whole Chicago. You ain't there. You weren't there. So you made a diss and said something about Von. That's why I don't. You ain't did. You did zero.
Expanding on the YoungBoy vs. Von beef, NLE Choppa would share what he thinks about NBA YoungBoy. From initially liking YoungBoy and vibing with his music, as he was a huge fan of the Louisiana rapper.
Since y'all want to post anything, you'll post it. YoungBoy my favorite rapper. You talking about?
Even after one of NBA YoungBoy's arrests in 2019, NLE Choppa felt the need to create a song for him titled Free YoungBoy in hopes of his release. However, NLE Choppa completely changed his thoughts on YoungBoy after King Von's passing, as NBA YoungBoy ended up dropping his hit song titled Bring the Hook in 2022, dissing all of O-Block and especially King Von, which the entire rap scene would react to. DJ Academics tweeted, NBA YoungBoy's on Demon Time right now, and he's dropping another tape. O-Block rapper Lil Reese would respond, stating, that ain't no demon time. He's just rapping like the rest of these rappers all rap. And we would see NLE Choppa agreeing with Lil Reese by saying, I stamp that, as his response to the beef. However, this just let the rap game know which side NLE Choppa was on, and NBA YoungBoy was not happy that he picked a side. He spoke on it in a song titled Know Like I Know, by rapping the lyrics, I bet your mama be destroyed when we send you to God for making statements. Choosing sides about my beef with them boys, I could say I saw it, you could say I was your favorite. Then after NBA YoungBoy's song was released, NLE Choppa then took the time to change the title of his Free YoungBoy song to just YoungBoy, showing that he no longer stands with him anymore. NLE Choppa later then went on a DJ Academics podcast to speak on the beef as well.
He's not able to defend his name, bro, and it be a lot going on within his name about him when to me, bro, he a real stand-up dude, and it was just unfortunate how it happened. Like, he came to a person as a man.
NLE even followed it up with another interview with DJ Vlad.
When you heard that, what'd you think?
It was funny to me. I feel like, it's not serious when it hit the net. It's funny. It's just entertainment to me.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Good song. Nice bars.
He then also appeared on The Breakfast Club, speaking on NBA YoungBoy and how he needs to keep his act straight and stay out of jail, where he stated, and I quote, "NBA YoungBoy needs to be more careful. He's got a lot of people looking up to him, and he needs to set a better example. He needs to stay out of trouble and focus on music." Shortly after, we would even see Lil Baby tap in. His first interaction with YoungBoy was by him tweeting out, "Someone tell NBA YoungBoy let's lock in," hinting at a collab that they would eventually go on to make, which was titled One Shot in 2020. Then the beef between YoungBoy and Lil Durk happened after King Von's passing. And obviously with Lil Durk and Lil Baby having a very close friendship, Lil Baby would cut ties with YoungBoy ever since. This would even later lead into JayDaYoungan, who's another rapper from Louisiana. He had a lot to say on NBA YoungBoy, as we saw him talk in an interview with DJ Vlad, where he would go on to share this message.
Me and YoungBoy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of YoungBoy music.
He's
yeah.
That was in rotation forever.
Yeah, we gonna collaborate pretty soon and put on for our state, because when we do, I feel like that's just gonna be one of the hardest collaborations ever.
Not long after, these two would then drop their collab song titled Up With Me. Sadly though, these two would eventually have a falling out after JayDaYoungan shared a snippet of an unreleased YoungBoy song on Instagram, where YoungBoy would actually comment on the Instagram post stating, "Delete this now. I don't even know how you got my song. I don't mess around like that." To where Jay spoke on the situation just a few weeks later, saying he's not gonna take disrespect from anyone.
I'm a real and I stand on everything, you hear me? Ain't no gonna play with me, ain't gonna disrespect me, and it just feel like gonna slide. No. I really like.
He then followed it up by speaking on an NBA YoungBoy song with his song titled 38K, where he spoke, and I quote, "You put that comment on my post, they laughed about that, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me." Now there has been many photos revealing that after the song, Jay was actually linking up with one of NBA YoungBoy's baby mamas. However, in return, YoungBoy allegedly tried to catch JayDaYoungan lacking in the streets after NBA YoungBoy recorded this video.
You be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Open their mouth, came to what they was, man. And you caught the kid and left another fat man in the blind. Oh.
Going forward with Quando Rondo, one of the rappers signed to NBA YoungBoy's label, he backed YoungBoy heavily during this interview.
Well, at one point, NBA YoungBoy started to come around.
After I dropped a video on Instagram rapping and he commented under the video and wanted my number and stuff. And he been real since day one.
Okay. And he ended up signing you to his label?
Yes, sir.
Ever since YoungBoy reached out to Quando Rondo, he's always stuck by his side throughout everything, making him one of the most loyal rappers to NBA YoungBoy. However, Kodak Black has also had a lot to share about YoungBoy over the many years. From these two being very close with each other in the beginning, dropping songs together and much more, their friendship would indeed turn bad after the Yaya Mayweather incident, where Kodak found out that he was talking to the police. Where Kodak Black posted on Instagram pointing out that YoungBoy had been fully cooperating with the feds. Now this didn't go over well with NBA YoungBoy. He would quickly hop on IG Live and start calling out Kodak.
These watch me from a jail cell, man. These watch me from a jail cell and be on my so bad. Be right academics about me, man.
This beef only continued to go forward, especially after Kodak was finally released from jail. He hopped on Instagram Live to share his side of the story.
Y'all get off my don't miss that time out. Oh, what you call it about, or what you call about it. What the homie tell them people tighten down, like, man, y'all get off. Y'all could comment extra on everybody. But, bro.
Now, Youngboy would respond in a caption stating, P.S. If you don't like my fans, then I don't like you. However, it seems the two are finally on good terms again, after there was a video released to Kodak and Youngboy on FaceTime with each other all the way back in January.
What's up, NBA Youngboy? What they do? What's up? Hey, look, hey, NBA. How you want? You want it? How you want that?
Then getting into Youngboy's history with Birdman, these two have surprisingly been very respectful to each other over the years. Birdman hopped on an interview to let the world know he thinks Youngboy is the biggest rapper in the game right now.
I think NBA Youngboy might be the biggest rapper. I say it that. 5 years ago.
What you mean big when you say big?
Ain't no gonna be bigger than NBA Youngboy. Numbers don't lie. Yeah. He the biggest YouTube artist right now in the world.
Now, he took it upon himself to also hop on IG Live to further express that he will always stand with NBA Youngboy.
And we about ready to and go about the penitentiary. So we got to do about like, man, yo, come on, man.
With a rap OG such as Birdman saying these things, this has made many rappers in the industry respect NBA Youngboy even more. Just like Kevin Gates, who's another rapper that was extremely close with Youngboy near the beginning of his career. Sadly, these two though would also have a falling out, as NBA Youngboy thought that Kevin wanted 10% of what he's earning after he helped Youngboy secure his first record deal, as NBA Youngboy would put Kevin Gates on blast in his song The Story of OJ, where he would rap the lyrics, but the man thinking he's getting 10% from me, allowing him to allow someone else to pay me. However, Kevin Gates spoke on NBA Youngboy during an interview with DJ Academics, letting him know that it's all love from Kevin's side of the beef.
Whatever happened with you and Youngboy?
I love him. He just on his journey right now. There's nothing he could do to make me stop loving him. I got his face tattooed on me because I see myself in him.
Wow. He's going through a lot of trials and tribulations.
Wish I could put my arms around him right now.
He even then went on another interview, further speaking on his love for NBA Youngboy.
The question is, do you ever feel like y'all could get back to the place where y'all can make music again and do things like that?
Of course. I love him. My love don't change for people.
One rapper the industry loves is Soulja Boy. He spoke many times on NBA Youngboy, including on how he was actually supposed to sign Youngboy way back in the day.
You was supposed to sign NBA Youngboy? Was that true?
Yeah.
What happened?
I could have had a chance to sign NBA Youngboy. Nah, he DM'd me on Instagram and he was like, I'm 16 and I rap and I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Throughout 2021, Soulja Boy ended up running into issues with Youngboy, although he would take it to DJ Academics' podcast to clear up the situation.
I don't want to think on with Youngboy.
It's just that the tweet said, yeah.
No, listen. I don't want to think that I don't with Youngboy. I with Youngboy. It's just that he got some crazy fans.
Then after the podcast, the issues between rappers were dropped, until Youngboy began saying that he was trying to stop the crime in the music game. This made Soulja Boy quite angry, knowing full well that almost all of Youngboy's songs or music videos promote crime. He let it all out on IG Live.
I'm one of the last straight rappers in the we promoting beef, we not painting our fingernails. You talking about? Y'all could be brainwashed if y'all want to. You talking about?
This would then lead into Bobby. He spoke out multiple times on how much he dislikes Youngboy, especially after Youngboy defended Quando Rondo for what he did to his friend King Von, where he would say this on IG Live.
Jacking everybody other what you doing? What you doing, homie? Tell me about your brother and your brothers. You always with your brother that what the do you do? When you're gonna finally do something.
NBA Youngboy then responded to his story by saying, and I quote, "Okay, Mr. Vaughn, you better stop the crime, boy. I thought you were a fan. Don't lie. Go make a hit. I just want to be friends." It then got more heated after Youngboy released this video to Bobby asking why he even picked a side when he didn't even know who King Von was.
You ain't even take no flower to this man. But I guarantee you ain't take not one flower to this man. And you out like that, man. I ain't even got nothing to do with the situation, man. Stop playing with me, son. I don't want no problem with you. Stay the out my way or get it done, man. Stop the like I said, man.
However, knowing Bobby, he would not let this go. He answered back to YoungBoy saying he was gonna get him in this video.
I'm in here for money, but when I catch up or DJ Academic, everybody, bro, any I catch like whack, and I can record this. I'm going to them on camera. On camera, live, on parole. I don't give a f. I'm gonna when he had this on camera.
NBA YoungBoy took it all for a joke though, as he responded laughing at Bobby for his response.
I hope you don't think I'm scared. I gotta. These crazy, man. Yeah, man, that want it. No. Hey, I like your lingo, son. I fuck with that, boy.
However, a real rap legend like Young Thug is actually loved by everyone. Now, despite most OGs liking Young Thug, Lil Wayne has never really had a good relationship with Young Thug.
But the biggest inspiration was Lil Wayne. But the way that he got greeted me, that's like the second, that's like really the main reason why I always had in my mind, like I never in my life treat another person like this, because it's not like a real, it's not like how you treat. I ain't even get a chance. I'm like, man, I at least got to give everybody a chance. Like,
the sparks between the two began in 2014 when Young Thug announced that he wanted to title his album Carter 6, paying tribute to his musical inspiration Lil Wayne from his album The Carter 5. Although not much came from the ordeal, later that year, they then released a collab single titled Take Care, which would mark the only collaborative piece that these two have ever made together. When it came to the point that Young Thug stuck true to titling his album Carter 6, Lil Wayne would then throw shade at Young Thug for the cover art of his album, as Young Thug didn't mention Lil Wayne's name.
I want y'all to do me a favor and stop listening to songs that post on their.
It even led to the point where Lil Wayne would go on to file a lawsuit against Young Thug for the Carter 6 album name. Therefore, Thug would then go ahead and change it to Barter 6 instead. But it did not end here, as in April of 2015, news reports would then announce that someone had put holes in Lil Wayne's tour bus, as witnesses at the scene claimed that there was a man with a hoodie on and a firearm. On Lil Wayne's tour bus, it had been carrying multiple members of Young Money, including Lil Wayne himself, in the back. Fortunately, nobody was injured. However, after detectives fully investigated the situation, it turned out that a man named Jimmy Carlton Winfrey was responsible for this action. After the feds would investigate deeper into Jimmy's life, it turned out that he was closely linked with Young Thug, as he used to work for Thugger as his tour manager way back in the day. But since then, the two have seemed to relax their rap beef, as we saw Young Thug speak his own thoughts on Lil Wayne.
You see him, you inspired, you walk up, you like, what's up, Wayne, what's up, Weezy, I'm the newest member, what's up, man? And it was just like,
the first day that didn't dap me up.
Just left you hanging?
Left my hanging. I'm like, hey, listen, bro, I'm never touching your hand again.
Right.
Just off of that, like, bro, you tripping. I'm a player, and I'm a real player. And
this would then even lead into our next rapper named Jadakiss, whose voice has always been valued by old school fans. Despite all of the hate towards the newer generation of rap, he actually enjoys Young Thug's music, as he would share this during an interview.
Are there some guys you like?
I like a lot of this. It's a lot of dudes that can rap, really rap. A lot of people might think I don't like Thug. I listen to Thug more than I listen to a lot of them. You know what I mean? You gotta listen to the music and absorb it. You gotta listen. He's saying some incredible. You know what I mean?
We would even see one of the best lyricists in the last decade, J. Cole, speak on his interaction with bringing Young Thug on his tour back in 2018.
Yeah, he's just ill. Like, I did get the feedback on that mad people were surprised, bugging out that you took Thug. Like, but really it's just like, yo, like what? And if you want to talk about Young Thug as like an artist, he's an innovator. Like, if you know skills, you call him a mumble rapper all you want, but if you know skills and you know like the art of rapping and you know like how you put words together and you know pockets and you know flows and you know the things he's doing with his voice, the dude is a genius. You know what I mean? So like to me it's like y'all are tripping.
With J. Cole bringing his positive light, we would also see the late legendary artist of Juice WRLD react to Young Thug, who made sure that he talked highly of those that came before him. He enjoyed Young Thug's music as he shared this during a No Jumper interview.
Give me some moments that you were just like, this is it right here.
When I first met Thug and Future, it was like, what? I'm in the presence of some legends.
What was that like?
It was a vibe.
What was the conversation like?
You know, just common talk, I guess. You know, they always say real stuff, so.
Juice even then followed it up to share that he learned a lot from Young Thug in the music industry.
You know, usually when I be around people like that, I try to listen more than speak because you could always learn. You know, from people like that. Their whole career, going crazy their whole career. I can't do but learn from people like Future and Thug. Like, those are the GOATs.
Alongside Juice, we then saw another young artist being Trippie Redd, who had this to say on Young Thug.
Was there anyone that's done that for you, whether they're in the industry or not?
Yeah, like Thug sat back, told me a lot of and coming from him, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, because I him as a person. So to hear him school me or game me up on something, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, definitely was just making a lot of sense. It was like everything that he brought up.
Now, while these reactions were talking about Young Thug's musical talents and career, you now have to see the reactions to his ongoing legal case. As of May 2022, Young Thug, Gunna, and over 20 members of YSL were arrested on RICO charges. To this day, Young Thug is still trying to defend his name in the courtroom, as he's now facing life inside a prison if found guilty. Rappers have been sure to let their voices be heard in Thug's legal situation. Gunna was originally locked up with Young Thug when the RICO case started. However, his reaction to the case is that he didn't want any part of it, so Gunna decided to snitch his way out. Despite Young Thug being an incredibly influential person in Gunna's success over the years, he took zero time to tell on him in the courtroom.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Gunna would then end up sharing this statement afterwards, trying to fool the fans that he didn't actually snitch on Young Thug, but in reality he was caught on 4K. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear. I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case. Now, while Gunna has completely turned against Young Thug, almost every single rapper in the industry is hoping that Young Thug can pull through, as we would see the most OG rapper in the game, Snoop Dogg, share, and I quote, "Snitching ain't right, free Young Thug," to even NBA YoungBoy hopping on his podcast where his fans were asking his thoughts on the case.
Don't call me asking me about what I think about the situation or do I think snitching. I honestly don't give not one. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Unlike NBA YoungBoy, Meek Mill would speak out defending Young Thug for all of the good things that he has done in the music industry and how he always tries to do good. As he stated, "Young Thug put on many families. I see it with my own eyes. Stand up for them in these times and not the lit ones. I pray that the DA is fair to them, knowing that we're out here just trying to survive. Young Thug and Gunna ain't no crime bosses. They are successful rappers with influence that didn't leave their environment behind. If you bring your environment with you, it's a RICO. Watch yourself out here." You have to remember, Young Thug is the same guy that put Lil Baby on by literally giving him money to stay away from the street life. But just like Meek Mill has experienced his side of the streets, we would even see 50 Cent come out and speak on the Young Thug incident, as he just hopes that Young Thug can make it out okay.
When you see,
what I'm saying? Like
a Thug and a Gunna and everything that they're going through,
And you look at other people too, and you're like,
It's set up for. They're not targeting anymore. They're using those laws to get. They're using it for the neighborhoods now. Yeah, how easy you get RICO conspiracy? How often you see people in the neighborhood with a fake case? The feds, that meant you was doing something big.
Yeah, man.
What was once 50 Cent's young prodigy, Tekashi 6ix9ine had a much different reaction after Gunna snitched. As 6ix9ine has already snitched once before, he understands how the feds do their work. He came out with the truth to say that Young Thug is now done for, as he recalls on how badly it looks inside of the courtroom for Young Thug, by stating, and I quote, "Just listen, I know y'all don't want to accept that he snitched, but the judge said you are aware YSL is a street team, correct?" As Gunna responded, "Yes, ma'am." The judge says, "Only you and Jeffrey are in the car, and police find illegal items. These didn't belong to you, correct?" Gunna responds, "Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and make your excuses. I stand on whatever I do or did. That's why I'm still walking this earth, and nothing has ever happened to me. I am him." As 6ix9ine would even hop on a Clubhouse call with Wack 100 to share his insight into the case.
So me pleading guilty is only making it worse for my man. I'm saying I was there. Yes, I did it. I plead guilty. I am guilty. I am guilty. Anything you said in that courtroom is going to be used against your man, my man. That shit is over.
As once again, 6ix9ine would then hop on another call with DJ Academics to share it further.
He just implicated YSL being so now home, right? All the people who's locked up, like Jeffrey, like Young Thug, now he can't go with that defense. He can't go with the defense of saying, I'm a record label.
Unfortunately, it does look seriously bad for Young Thug because of what Gunna did. But then we finally saw Young Thug and Gunna's best friend Lil Baby speak on the situation. As Baby said, "He is like one of my personal friends, so we like to talk on the phone, you feel me? Me and Gunna were like neighbors, do you know what I'm saying? So for them to be in this situation, I don't like to talk to them. I do kind of miss them for sure though." As shortly after this interview, Lil Baby would then go on to unfollow Gunna on Instagram after the news of him snitching was released. As Academics would tweet, "The streets are saying Lil Baby unfollowed Gunna today. Y'all think the industry giving Gunna too much of a hard time for being a truth teller or nah?" However, there is a lot of rappers that stuck true to Young Thug and now don't really like Gunna at all for what he did. As we have rap OG Boosie sharing on Gunna's snitching. Considering he comes from the old school streets, he was not happy about this at all. As he would tweet, "Rat, this would have put tears in my eyes. My brother, my artist. Like, what am I defending my life for, saying that I'm not in a street team, and then you do this to your big dog? You knew it was a street team, saying the items in the car weren't yours. Well, who else was in the car that they can be for then?" As Boosie would continue, "He had one charge. He wasn't gonna get no hard time. These lawyers don't care about your legacy. They know what they're doing to your name. They're getting you out of jail so their name goes viral, and you gotta pay them more even once you're free. And they made you cooperate. It's a cold game." The tweets weren't all that Boosie had to share, as he would even follow it up with another Instagram live sharing this.
"Yeah, they bring your reputation to the ground, but the lawyer reputation all the way to the sky." And he knew what he was doing the whole time.
As another rapper who is now the king of the streets and follows the old school rap code would be Lil Durk. As Lil Durk has since thrown shade in Gunna's way ever since the snitching. As Lil Durk would post on his Instagram and Twitter a new song snippet, and in the lyrics, Lil Durk would say, "What happened to Virgil, he's probably gonna tell," referring to a title of Lil Durk and Gunna's collab song titled "What Happened to Virgil," showing that Lil Durk is not a fan of Gunna's recent actions. As Sauce Walka is another rapper that is no longer a fan of Gunna either, as he would have this to say.
"I've been through multiple situations, and it's always going on. It never stops. We always going through something, and I would never tell or fold or my brother in no way, shape, or form. Give me my 30 years, give me my 25.
As he also says that everyone should be holding Gunna accountable, just like they did 6ix9ine for snitching.
All of y'all, the man is 6ix9ine, all you that said all about 6ix9ine and all them other They told y'all better do the same.
Many new rappers have reacted to Drake as Drake has easily been among the top rappers in the game now for the past decade. From creating countless hits over the years with many artists, this is how rappers have reacted to Drake. Starting off with A$AP Rocky. He's had a long history with Drake and also collaborated with Kendrick Lamar and Drake on their hit song titled Problems. As A$AP Rocky then hopped on an interview to detail how much Drake has impacted the beginning of his music career.
Only person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake. I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on, like, before anybody. He didn't want to sign me. He didn't want to, it was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. Like, you gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I forever owe Drake.
Now, Rocky was not done here though, as he would speak on his first conversation with Drake.
The first conversation, he was himself. He said, yo, first off, I'm gonna let you know I'm a real, but I'm a man of my word. Basically, he was saying he's a stand-up guy. I never met him. First conversation, he's saying he's gonna take me on a tour, and I'm like, wow, man, you know, I don't know, man, whatever. I didn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, you know, when I see it, I believe it. When I met him, everything like showed me love, and this is when I was a nobody, you know. And yo, man, Drizzy, man, he's good people.
As back near the start of A$AP Rocky's music career, he spoke further about joining Drake's 2012 Take Care tour.
You got the Drake tour coming up. How did that come about, and what's your relationship with Drake?
It came about because he added me to the tour. He said he was a fan of the music, and you know, he reached out to me, and now we're going on tour, and we're cool, we're good friends.
With the early support from Drake in the music industry, A$AP Rocky would then take off in the rap game, as later on in 2019, he'd then bring out Drake in the middle of a sold-out show to return the favor. However, with the announcement of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky now being together in 2020, Drake did not like this one bit, as in his song titled Middle of the Ocean from the Her Loss album, we would see Drake rap the lyrics, and I quote, "Swedish jail cell smellin' like some Carby Musk. For your birthday, your boyfriend got a party bus. Bottle signs, club lines should have come with us." Now, who's the only rapper we know that has been in a Swedish jail cell? That would be A$AP Rocky. So it seems like Drake is sort of jealous and put off that Rihanna decided to go with Rocky, despite all of the history that Drake has had with Rihanna over the years. Or is this because Rihanna mentioned one time that Drake smells pretty bad? However, in 2022, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky would announce the pregnancy. Drake would then unfollow them 2 days later, with both sides now not even speaking to each other anymore. However, another rapper that hopped on Drake's Take Care tour in 2012 would be none other than Kendrick Lamar. Similar to A$AP Rocky, Kendrick's also had a couple issues with Drake over the years, as Kendrick Lamar dropped his iconic verse in 2013 track titled Control, where he name-checked multiple other artists in the game, including Drake, where he raps, "I got love for you and all, but I'm trying to ruin you." While Kendrick meant the lyrics jokingly, Drake actually got annoyed by his name being added in, as Drake would respond during an interview with Billboard by saying, "It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know good and well that Kendrick's not touching me at all in any platform." Now, he even added into his song titled Language these lyrics, "I don't know why they're lying, but your stuff ain't that inspiring." Now, Kendrick would respond to this diss during his BET Awards with a freestyle, and I quote, "Yeah, and nothing's been the same since they dropped Control," and tucked a sensitive rapper in his pajama clothes. When Kendrick Lamar was asked about the beef, he assured fans that he meant nothing bad by the verse during this interview.
The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. You know, when I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and you know.
Kendrick Lamar then would also speak out about how it was all love at the end of the day.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Cole's of the world or Drake's of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. Personally, I respect these dudes as, you know, as people, you know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing. I respect their music.
Like that.
For sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
To which Drake then spoke later on the situation in 2014, saying, "I never once said Kendrick's a bad guy or that I didn't like him. I think that he's a genius in his own right. But I also stood my ground as I should, and with that came another step, which then I realized that I'm baited and I'm not gonna fall." Kendrick then popped out to say that it was a reach by everyone to suggest that there was anything more than just a friendly feud going on.
That's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far. But I mean, people pick at things all day, every day. You know, I can't get mad at it, but they reach it. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that playing out, you know, as entertaining. Maybe to, you know, the people listening, you know, but not for myself.
Then in 2019, Drake would then show respect towards Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole during this interview.
I have a lot of respect for, you know, the other two guys that I'm constantly, you know, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, you know, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations, much like Jay did.
With J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake now being arguably the top 3 lyricists lately, J. Cole would then jump in to share his respect for the other two.
I'm more interested in the relationship because I also see a time when I'm not doing it. That seems very realistic. I would, you know, I don't want to be like, damn, we never kicked it. You know what I mean? Like, it was always respecting because even at its most competitive, you're not going to be competitive with somebody you don't respect. I think now it's just more of a wisdom thing where it's like, yo, you can never have it all. 100% of people are never going to say J. Cole is the best rapper breathing. You won't get 90%. You won't get 90% to say Drake. You won't get 90% to say Kendrick. It's just never going to happen.
Which would then later lead into someone that has had a bad past with Drake. This would be none other than Chris Brown. The story of Chris Brown is very long. He had a very controversial past with Rihanna, as Drake had his own close friendship with Rihanna back in the day. The two then got into a scrap in 2012 over her, where Chris Brown would speak about the beef during this interview.
I mean, it's not entertaining for me. It's more me being real, saying what I gotta say.
Right.
Like, it's not, you know, I ain't out here trying to go at him. I ain't got people after him. You know, it's just we just chilling. I have my differences and he has his. What I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation for anything to mess up my career.
I heard.
You know, focus on what it is. Focus on your music.
Chris Brown then cleared it up further by stating, "It was just a misunderstanding on both ends. I ain't gonna go into many details. It's funny now, but as far as that, he's good, he's straight." Now he even continued stating, "It was funny, and then we actually sat and talked about it afterward. It was just like, man, what are we doing right now? Like, bro, that was funny." Now these two would then go on to release their 8-time platinum record titled No Guidance, and it seemed like the two had finally made amends. Drake would then even open up about the beef himself.
Well, I think we've come together before and tried to link and make music. And I think we were always kind of forcing it. I think there was always like resentment on both sides. Again, when you kind of step away from it and break it down, you start to feel silly because it's like over like girl stuff, you know? I just always really had a lot of admiration for his talent. When the song was finished, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, not only did we link back up and like have like a cool show moment, but like we did a record together. Right.
However, moving into a rapper that has only had good connections with Drake would be none other than Lil Baby. From having multiple collaborations together now over the years, Lil Baby took it to an interview to discuss his and Drizzy's friendship.
I mess with Drake, like, he a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He like, he real observant, you know what I'm saying? He said like, I already messed with him for a minute.
This has been in a long time.
Me, like 2018, we're gonna make it happen, but we made it happen for real. Now, like, I never, you know, I don't know nothing about this. So, you know, I can't even think this far, like, so I ain't no way I thought about, like, this successful, you know what I'm saying?
This would even then later result in another rapper overcoming his beef with Drake, and this would be then Meek Mill, as he jumped on the radio to say this.
It was exciting. Me and him actually been in contact probably for like a year before, but the natural way, like, everybody's trying to get us, all right, y'all, we gonna get y'all to meet up, this, that, and the third. I might not be ready for that. He might not be ready for that. So when we both was ready for that, we linked up and just like, all right, we're gonna do it. And Boston happened to be the place. We like, we're gonna come out and get it. and we just representing building bridges. It's 2019.
This was just after they dropped their collaboration song titled Going Bad, where they finally found peace between the two. Just like how Meek Mill collaborated with Drake, we would see Trippie Redd finally get his Drizzy feature too, where he says that he was super excited about it.
Do you know that it's gonna be that one that everybody pay attention to?
Yeah, you know, I felt like that just because it was Drake anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't even really.
When you
mess
get
with
that
his
though,
music, so.
do you go yes?
Oh yeah, I was turned.
Yeah,
we was sending music back and forth trying to figure it out. And like I got that last minute to add to the album.
Now, one of the all-time GOATs in the music industry is Eminem, cleared up behind the meaning behind one of his bars titled in his song Lucky You, which many fans believed was targeted at Drake.
People took that line and thought you were indirectly talking about Drake.
No, see, here's the thing. Drake is always going to be in my good graces because he did something for one of my daughters that I will never forget, and he will always be in my graces with that. And I like Drake. What I'm telling you with these lines is I don't know what's real and what's not at this point.
A little while longer, we would then see Drake's Sicko Mode collaborator Travis Scott speak his mind on Drake, where he would share the behind the scenes of creating his verse for Drake's song titled Company.
It's one of them, man. We went over to his crib one day when I was just working on my album. I just played him like a couple songs off my, but like my all over the place. Like before I left, he was like, "Yeah, I want to just give you this." It was literally the last day before his album was about to come out that I turned my verse in. Like literally.
What? And you made it that tight?
Yeah, literally. Like he'll tell you.
That's a quick turnaround.
It was like so serious. It was like my last day in LA kind of type of.
Just like Travis Scott did, we would then see The Game discuss how his song 100 featuring Drake was created.
Drake does all his, all his biggest records like in the beginning were, like geared towards women. So whatever you think Drake, you're like, yo, let me go to Drake and get a radio single real quick. And then when I went to Drake, he was like, yo, man, I don't want to give you that. I want to do some hip hop, something cool, something real. And so we got the 100 beat and we just went in, man. And that song was done in like 30 minutes too, man. And we was out of there.
This is when we would see one of the greatest familiar faces in the music industry, DJ Khaled, share his love for Drake. As Khaled would also talk about his relationship with Drake and how he supported Khaled a lot throughout his own career.
We just ever since built a relationship and he has respect for me. He always told me that. What I love about Drake is he cares about me and he cares about me winning. And you don't find many people like that. You know what I'm saying? And I have the same love back for him, meaning as in I respect him as an artist. I think he's one of the greatest, meaning as in for our time. Like I put him up there with all the great ones.
Another rapper in the music industry who has high praise for Drake is none other than Logic, as he would speak about Drake during an interview that he did.
Oh, and I think that's why Drake is the best, because he sees every wave. Think about like Best I Ever Had Drake, and then think about God's Plan and everything in between. It's just been a complete evolution of music, and he's always been ahead of the curve. To be able to look and see the little homies and what they're on and be like, oh, okay. And not only is Drake gonna be like, I with that vibe, that inspires me, I'm gonna with you too and put you on. You know what I mean? That's like really commendable and extremely respectful.
However, while it seems like most rappers love Drake and respect him for everything he did, XXXTentacion would actually have one of the worst relationships with Drake of all time, as the beef between these two would all start when X created a tweet stating, "Drake's mom is kinda cute." This was around the time that X's music career began taking off due to the release of his hit song titled Look at Me, but he would also then get arrested shortly after for an ongoing legal issue. During his lockup, Drake would get his revenge for that tweet. He would release his song titled KMT, and it wasn't long before fans realized that KMT has a very similar beat, flow, and speed to X's song Look at Me. We would then see XXXTentacion get released from jail. He would then speak on Drake stealing his song.
I was on the phone with my dog Chris. He was like, yo, you gotta listen to this Drake. That's exactly what he said. Like, this Drake, you gotta listen to this. So he plays it. I hear da-da-da-da in my done. I'm like, what the? As soon as it started, like I knew he was getting that. And the funny thing is, we didn't discover it. The fan, like you said, the fans, you could take his verse, like they did a mashup. They put his verse on my song, and the cadence is literally just at the same tempo. It's not offbeat at all.
Drake would obviously then deny stealing it from X. Instead, it was just a weird coincidence.
I'm seeing all this on my IG under like some random picture of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? I go and I find what song they're talking about, you know? And I listen to it, I'm like, okay, I see where people could draw like this comparison off of like the first two lines, whether it be the cadence or the rhyme pattern, whatever. It's crazy that people think that after all this time, after all I've been through, that I'm the type of person to go and think that I'm gonna like take that and make it my own. Like,
but speaking about XXXTentacion, many rappers have reacted to him as he was one of the most viral rappers in the industry at one point. Starting off with a legendary artist such as Juice WRLD, he exchanged many conversations with XXXTentacion, and he even shared on his experience with the rapper.
We had a couple like deep conversations, talked on the phone a few times. He had nothing but positive stuff to say. For real, for real. We had respect for each other at the end of the day. And that's what was gonna kind of lead into a friendship. He just said, make sure it's to keep all negative people out of your life. And just make sure that you have good energy around you, pretty much.
He'd also hop on a radio station interview where he shared this about the creation of his song titled Legends, who honors late rappers XXXTentacion as well as Lil Peep.
And that Legends record, it speaks because like you dropped it right after, you know, X.
I made the same night he passed away.
Wow.
What was
Talk about that.
Yeah, what was that relationship like? We weren't the best of friends. We had a couple like deep conversations though. He had nothing but good advice.
Speaking of his song Legends, the cover art for the song would actually be his last message with XXXTentacion, where you can see X saying, "You are the truth. Just be careful what you manifest. That's my honest response. If you need anything, you ask me. I read good energy from you. Make sure that's the only energy you put yourself around." With Juice WRLD responding, "Much appreciated, but how can I surround myself with good energy when it's bad energy everywhere it seems like?" Now, we would even see an interview with Billboard in 2018, where Juice WRLD spoke highly of the rapper, stating, and I quote, "I think he was a legend in the making, he was innovative, and he was unapologetically himself, and I feel like that's the most important thing in music. He touched people in a way where they felt like he was speaking directly to them." Now, Juice even mentioned in another interview that he and X were actually planning on meeting up one day.
We planned on, I ain't never meet him in person, we planned on linking up.
All through social media?
Yeah, FaceTime and stuff.
What was the last conversation you guys had?
About us meeting. I FaceTimed him, I'm like, because he said something the day before, and I was like, oh yeah, you was right about that.
Juice WRLD's connection with X is a much different story compared to Drake's history with the rapper. The famous XXXTentacion and Drake beef all started when X created a tweet stating, "Drake's mom is kinda cute." X's music career began taking off with the release of his hit song titled Look at Me. However, X would later find himself behind bars for the alleged incident between him and his ex-girlfriend named Geneva. And it was at this time where Drake would take advantage of the increasing popularity of X's latest song, where Drake would release his own song titled KMT, which just happened to have the same flow, speed, and a similar beat of X's song Look at Me. By the time XXXTentacion would leave jail, he would speak on Drake ripping off his song.
I was on the phone with my dog, Chris. He was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this Drake." That's exactly what he said. Like, this Drake, you gotta listen to this. So he plays this. I hear da 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 my done. I'm like, what the? As soon as it started, like I knew he was getting that. And the funny thing is, we didn't discover it. The fan, like you said, the fans, you could take his verse, like they did a mashup. They put his verse on my song, and the cadence is literally just at the same tempo. It's not offbeat at all. And you can, if you listen to my song and then you listen to the Bruh song, like.
And Drake would even respond back to XXXTentacion during this interview.
I'm seeing all this on my IG under like some random picture of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? I go and I find what song they're talking about, you know? And I listen to it, I'm like, okay, I see where people could draw like this comparison off of like the first 2 lines, whether it be the cadence or the rhyme pattern or whatever. It's crazy that people think that after all this time, after all I've been through, that I'm the type of person to go and think that I'm gonna like take that and make it my own. Like I'm not.
It seems like a majority of their beef would continue behind closed doors, or at the very least, X got some sort of warning to be aware of Drake, as he would release this to his Instagram story. If anyone tries to get me, it was at Champagne Poppy, aka Drake. I'm snitching right now. And in one of Drake's latest releases with 21 Savage, after the passing of XXXTentacion, Drake would rap the lyrics, and I quote, "Maybe I should do a 20, maybe I should break that 20, do a 10. Do a 10, maybe I should break that 10, do a 5. If it goes live, do a 5 again. If he held his tongue on that live, he'd be alive again." These lyrics would get broken down and explained in a much deeper meaning. Cause if you split a 20, you get 2 10s. If you add 2 5s together, you get another 10. Now you have 3 sets of the number 10, which in the Roman numerals, the number 10 is an X, leaving you with 3 X's, which could mean XXXTentacion. However, while Drake and X were having their constant issues, there was always one rapper by X's side. This would be Ski Mask, as he was one of X's closest friends. These two would actually go on to meet each other in a juvenile detention center when they were younger, where we would see Ski Mask detail what it was like for them at the time.
I met X in juvenile jail. Both was in juvenile jail, spending time. Then we just was like, yeah, we need an outlet to just stop getting in trouble. All we like to do is hit licks and like do hood friends. Long story short, so it's just like, all right, we need to find something to do. So we was like in there just beating on the tables, because all you can really do is sit there and stare at each other. So we sitting there beating on the chairs and stuff, and then we just like figured out each other could rap, and then we just like helped each other.
Ski Mask would also share how they originally produced their unique distorted type of music, just like their collaboration song titled Take a Step Back.
X recorded my first song. He ordered the stuff off of eBay. It was like a snowball mic. It was like the cheapest mic you could get. It sit on like 3 prongs or 4 prongs, one of those. And it was like just a basic Audacity and like a laptop. So, but that's how we got distorted music.
Just like X collaborated with Ski Mask, he would also go on to make a hit song with Trippie Redd. These two became very good friends in the music industry as well.
I was going to Miami to do several shows, and I performed in Orlando, and then I performed in Miami with X. Ever since I had met bro, we had just became like super cool friends, and now that's my best friend, I could say.
The two of these rappers would go on to create a song titled F Love. This would amass nearly 400 million views and be one of the biggest songs in the last decade, where Trippie Redd spoke on how he even got onto the song with X.
I was in Lil Wayne's studio, and I had recorded over this detail beat. It was the Love chorus, and then I had posted an Instagram snippet, or the day after, matter of fact, and X had texted me, and he was like, bro, I need that. I sent it to him, and he was like, bro, I'm putting this on my album. I'm like, all right, bet.
Hopping into another friend of X's, we would have Denzel Curry. Not only were the two really good friends, but they actually lived together in South Florida for some time. Denzel actually discussed the different stages of X's appearances, giving meaning to the different styles that he had.
There was different eras of X, like black hair era, like when he just had regular hair. When I met him, you know, he was just coming up, just doing his thing, just coming up, just making music. You know what I mean? Had the blonde and black era when he had the half blonde, half black hair. And that's when, you know, when all the crazy stuff started happening with the allegations, with, you know what I'm saying, the trial, the shows. Then it went to the transition where white hair X, where he first got the tree in the middle of his forehead. That was like his evolving state. Then it went to Indigo X. He described it as Indigo X when we talked. The last time we talked, he said the reason why he changed his hair, and he just felt like he understood how it was being a bad person and how easy it was.
After Denzel Curry would share his experiences with XXXTentacion, we would even see a rap OG in the music industry share his. This would be none other than 50 Cent, as 50 Cent would hop on an interview to discuss X's music and how it wasn't right for streaming platforms to begin blackballing him from the music industry due to his legal cases.
It's sad because he's young, you know, kid. He's just really getting off into his career, really. In a lot of places he had #1 album, but they wouldn't cover it because of his legal issues. You know, and you see Spotify switch.
However, getting into another rap OG in the music industry would be none other than Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick had a soft spot for X, as he was not afraid to show his respect for the rapper. Following the release of X's 2017 album, titled 17, Kendrick would take to Twitter to express his love for the project, as he tweeted out telling fans to give it a listen by sharing, "Listen to this album if you feel anything, raw thoughts." Now, Kendrick clearly enjoyed the work by the young Florida rapper and enjoyed X's raw music style. When Spotify decided to yank X's music from Spotify platform, Kendrick Lamar was not too happy about it, and he even warned Spotify that he would take his own music off the platform if they did not restore X's music back on, which sure enough they obviously did, as risking your business for something as small as a legal case, which X was proven innocent on, is just too much of a risk. We'd even then see another longtime rapper in the industry collaborate with X on their hit song titled Roll in Peace, which would be none other than Kodak Black, as their friendship was deeper than just music. Kodak recently revealed in an interview that XXXTentacion had tried to warn him about the negative consequences that his choices have been doing in his life, which happened just before Kodak would be arrested, as we would then see Kodak Black mention this during an interview.
Got like deep around you, like you was just to me like by homeboys, just by how I need to move and stuff.
It's very obvious that X cared a lot about Kodak, as he did not want to see him fall down the wrong path. Kodak respected him for that. In fact, Kodak Black made sure to share his condolences after the news of XXXTentacion passing was released, with him sharing on Instagram, "It's so sad to see another rapper lose his life to a senseless crime." Getting into another rapper that sadly didn't collaborate with X, but still very much appreciated him for everything he had done, would be Lil Uzi Vert. After attending XXXTentacion's memorial service, Lil Uzi Vert gave a huge shout out to X, stating that he was the only real competition that he had.
That was like my only competition. Every time I dropped, he dropped, or every time he dropped, I dropped. And he either go number one or I go number one.
However, Lil Uzi Vert would continue further showing his love for the late rapper, as he expressed interest in releasing a foundation to honor XXXTentacion, as he shared this: "I don't care if you didn't know him, he is a part of the hip-hop community. I need help from celebrities, please. Trust me, this fund will be for all young entertainers, young men and women that pass from crime-related issues." Which just goes to show you that not only did he feel incredibly sorry for X's passing, but he also wants to protect the rest of the rap community from having this ever happen again. Hopping into another hugely respected rapper in the music industry would be none other than J. Cole, as back in the day, J. Cole and XXXTentacion hopped on a FaceTime call together, where they'd seemed to get along very great. However, J. Cole would recall the conversation being a little off, with J. Cole saying he started off the conversation literally on something, like he didn't even say hello. He started off basically saying, "I'm not on your level yet." He was talking spiritually and mentally. That was intense because I said, "Huh? I'm not even on no level." He was praising me while also saying he was going to achieve whatever it is he felt like I had. I've dealt with people in my life before, many of them, and right away I noticed this kid is a super passionate and smart human being, but I could also see that he was so deep in his mind. Despite J. Cole noticing that, the two would actually become very good friends throughout X's life together, occasionally hitting each other up, making sure the other was doing good. When the unfortunate news of his passing would be released, J. Cole would be hit hard by the news, where he released a tweet stating, "This got me. Rest in peace, enormous talent and limitless potential, and a strong desire to be a better person. God bless his family, friends, and fans." We'd even see Hopsin jump into the mix, sharing his thoughts on XXXTentacion and mumble rappers in general, saying how he doesn't really like the new age of mumble rappers.
What are your thoughts on all these SoundCloud guys? Like,
yeah, let's just be honest. It is totally whack. I can't believe it. I'm just gonna say it's a lot of these dudes. You know, I don't know these people personally.
With him clearly disliking mumble rappers, he goes on to clarify that X was actually not one of those.
At first, I was kind of skeptical because I thought he was one of those guys. I heard his album when it first dropped. I heard it, and
he had respect. And I think he actually has a message. So
we would even see Tekashi 6ix9ine react to the sad passing of X, where he would release on Instagram a conversation between the two where X said, "Keep moving smart. Squashing the beef was a good move. When you get out, move smarter, more patient, more relaxed. Be safe, okay? Never let your guard down," with the last message being sent only 2 days before X would sadly pass. 6ix9ine would also talk about it during this Instagram clip.
I'm just saying, thinking, sometimes I just feel like I do too much trolling, and tomorrow's not promised, you know what I mean? X spread nothing but positivity, always called me on the phone, "Danny, are you okay? Danny, yo, you doing this the right way, just try to do more of this, like, you could call me, talk to me, like, what's going on?" Knowing that he was nothing but positive.
However, rappers have gone from loving Gunna to not wanting anything to do with him, with Gunna being involved in the massive YSL RICO case and now facing several years inside a federal prison. Gunna cut a deal with the feds and he snitched on the YSL kingpin Young Thug, throwing him under the bus for multiple charges. Young Thug was the one person in Gunna's life that helped him out the most, especially with his music career. Gunna's officially been released from jail. Rappers reacted to the situation in the same way everyone did to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Here's Gunna snitching in the courtroom.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Despite the video proof of Gunna snitching, he decided to try and fool everyone by releasing this message. While I've agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case. Rappers were not buying it though, as we saw Tekashi 6ix9ine speak up his mind on this situation in an Instagram post, which reads, "Just listen, I know y'all don't want to accept that he snitched, but the judge said, you are aware YSL is a street team, correct?" Where Gunna responds, "Yes, ma'am." The judge says, "Only you and Jeffrey are in the car, and police found illegal items. These did not belong to you, correct?" Gunna responds, "Yes, ma'am." "Go ahead and make your excuses. I stand on whatever I do or did. That's why I'm still walking on this earth, and nothing has ever happened to me. I am him." Although Tekashi 6ix9ine was not done here, as he hopped on Clubhouse with Wack 100 to explain that Young Thug is now in a very terrible situation because of Gunna's plea deal.
So me pleading guilty is only making it worse for my man. I'm saying I was there. Yes, I did it. I plead guilty. I am guilty. I am guilty. Anything you said in that courtroom is going to be used against your man, my man. That's it. It's over.
Then, just a week after the call, he then met up with DJ Academics to share more thoughts on Gunna snitching.
He just implicated YSL being so now he's home, right? All the people who's locked up, like Jeffrey, like Young Thug, now he can't go with that defense. He can't go with the defense of saying, I'm a record label.
Millions of people have not been fans of Tekashi ever since he snitched, but that man has a point. Moving on to Freddie Gibbs, he's never been a fan of Gunna. Ever since a video was released years and years ago of Gunna on Crime Stoppers, detailing a local crime that went down to reporters, Freddie found the video and took it to Twitter stating, "If you were on Crime Stopper TV, you a snitch. Ain't no way around it." Initially, Gunna was quiet in response to Freddie, but he went in and went to drop his DS Forever album in 2022, where Gunna went back after Freddie, which states, "When my album drops, Freddie Gibbs will have his biggest moment of his career," as Gunna was seen dissing Freddie on his new album, in his song titled Poochie Gown, by rapping, "I can't rock with Freddie Gibbs, that boy telling fibs." With Gunna now officially being labeled as a snitch, Freddie Gibbs would go off on Gunna in a string of tweets saying, "Telling fibs." He continued, "I hate to say I told you so," knowing full well that Freddie thought Gunna would be a snitch all the way back in 2020, when art imitates reality, showing this parody clip of Gunna snitching.
give me some McDonald's. When you come back, I might remember something. Can you do that?
Oh yeah. Big Mac, fries, Coke.
Yeah.
Done.
Now, Freddie kept on going on Twitter as he followed up stating, "I prayed for this day, rap full of snitches. So y'all gonna welcome this man home with open arms." And if you thought Freddie Gibbs went off on Gunna, you need to hear what rap OG Boosie had to say. Considering he comes from the old school streets, where you would always do your time and never snitch, Boosie would go on Twitter stating, "Rat, this would have put a tears down my eyes. My brother, my artist, like what am I defending my life for that I'm not in a street team and you do this to your big dog? You knew it was a street team, saying the items in the car weren't yours? Well, who else was in the car that they could be for?" He spoke more, stating he had one charge. He wasn't going to get no hard time. These lawyers don't care about your legacy. They know what they're doing to your name. They're getting you out of jail so their name blows up and you gotta pay them even more once you're free. And they made you cooperate. It's a cold game. Now, the tweets weren't all that Boosie had to share, as he followed it up with this on Instagram Live.
Yeah, they bring your reputation to the ground, but the lawyer reputation all the way to the sky. And he knew what he was doing the whole time.
This is when we saw NBA YoungBoy jump on his podcast, where thousands of fans were listening to his opinion on the YSL case and Gunna snitching, where he had this to say.
Don't call me asking me about what I think about the situation or do I think Nietzsche. I honestly don't give not one. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Now, surprisingly, not everyone is hating on Gunna right now, as Lil Duval spoke out stating, "Nobody should pin snitch on Gunna unless Young Thug says it." And with Young Thug currently sitting in jail, dealing with the entire RICO case by himself, he hasn't been able to let his thoughts out on Gunna's plea deal. However, one of Gunna's and Young Thug's closest friends in the game, Lil Baby, spoke his mind on how he feels with them in lockup. As Lil Baby said, "He is like one of my personal friends, so we talk on the phone, you feel me? Me and Gunna were like neighbors. Know what I'm saying? So for them to be in that situation, I don't really like to talk to them. I kind of miss them a bit for sure though." With Lil Baby unfollowing Gunna after news dropped with academics tweeting, "The streets are saying Lil Baby unfollowed Gunna. Y'all think the industry giving Gunna too much of a hard time for being a truth teller or nah?" As with Lil Baby now reacting to Gunna, we obviously then saw their best friend Lil Durk share his thoughts, as Lil Durk also then reacted to the case. He referenced Gunna in one of his latest snippets by rapping, "What happened to Virgil, he's probably gonna tell," as this is a reference to the title of Lil Durk and Gunna's collab song titled What Happened to Virgil, showing that Lil Durk is not a fan of Gunna snitching in court. But this then led into Charleston White. He had tons to share on the YSL RICO case as well as Gunna snitching, as he predicted all along the prosecutors were gonna try to turn everyone against Young Thug, seen as though he's the main target as well as the kingpin of YSL, saying this in an interview.
"I'm always willing to bet with any rapper, if they keep Young Thug locked up 6 more months in the conditions he in, he'll tell to get out of jail too. They keep him 6 more months, he'll tell to get out of jail too."
But what's surprising is that he admires Gunna for snitching to get out of the case.
"Gunna is out of prison. I never thought I would be happy to say y'all, Gunna is out of prison. Now, I'm glad he got out by telling. I think that was smart, Gunna. I'm a Gunna fan now. I'm gonna tell."
However, Charleston then gave his serious thoughts on the situation during a Say Cheese TV interview.
"I wouldn't say what Gunna did was a snitch, because Gunna's not a he made a confession."
And with Charleston White giving attention to the situation, we would then see rapper Sauce Walka spoke on the situation, saying he would never do such a thing as to what Gunna did to Young Thug, as Gunna received so much help from Young Thug during his come up, and for him to betray Young Thug like this is just plain wrong, as Sauce Walka spoke this on IG Live.
I've been through multiple situations, and it's always going on. It never stops. We always going through something, and I would never tell or fold or my brother in no way, shape, or form. Give me my 30 years, give me my 25.
Just like everyone did to Tekashi 6ix9ine when he snitched, he said everybody should keep that same energy towards Gunna. He doesn't want everyone switching up how they feel about a rapper snitching just because it's an artist that they like more. As he said this.
All of y'all, the man is 6ix9ine, all you that said all this about 6ix9ine, all them other that told y'all better do the same thing.
This would then lead into Tech. He was never much of a fan of Gunna either, as he hopped on an interview to poke fun of Gunna for being a snitch.
But it's like you got caught with some that wasn't my I don't know who it was.
How you don't know? If both of y'all in the car. It's just y'all two in the car. I don't know who it is. That's like, you ain't pointing a finger, you pointing elbows. You like, man, look.
Now his reaction would be similar to Boston Richie's reaction, who didn't approve of Gunna switching sides on Young Thug, saying, shaking my head. The streets ain't for everybody, free Young Thug. Juice WRLD's short rap career had a lot of people reacting as well though, as Lil Bibby, who had been managing Juice WRLD's career ever since he signed with Grade A Productions, to still even managing his music now that he has passed, the two of them shared a special bond as they were beside each other each and every single day. Which is why it meant a lot to fans when Lil Bibby had this to say.
I still look at it like there's people that can't do that. I can't do that. Like, he know how to freestyle all day and make sense. And pop, that's like a freak type talent.
Lil Bibby has been dealing with the music that is stored within Juice WRLD's music vault, which is everything that he left behind, as he plans to keep releasing new unreleased music for the fans to listen to. But this isn't the only rapper that was close to Juice that had to say something, as we saw G Herbo react to Juice WRLD's incredible skill. G Herbo has mentioned in previous interviews that he really learned a lot of music from Juice. From watching his freestyles to Juice helping him out on the daily, he spoke out on his connection with Juice during their time together.
Man, I don't know, you know, that was my real little brother, bro. So it's like, man, I don't know, we still, you know, we dealing with that day, to be honest, man. It's still, of course, I'm not even gonna say I don't think, it ain't even been a day he ain't crossed my mind in some form or fashion, you know what I'm saying? So.
Detailing on how special Juice WRLD was in the studio and how he misses him every single day. But someone you'd be a little bit more surprised to hear praise from would be Eminem. Eminem being one of the greatest rappers of all time, he had heavy praise for Juice WRLD and his talents, noting the unbelievable hour-long freestyle that Juice did during an interview.
Yo, shout to Juice too, man. Like, yo, that kid was so talented, man. He, like, his freestyle he did on Westwood where he rapped for an hour, like, what the? That's what we used to try to do at the hip hop shop.
Now, Eminem even followed that up by saying,
to be so young, he like mastered that so quickly. Like, his potential was so off the chart.
Now, even Eminem was surprised with how ridiculously talented Juice WRLD's freestyling skills were, as another leader in the rap game had even more to share on the remarkable talent that Juice WRLD had. This would be none other than Young Thug. With Young Thug being one of the OGs in the industry by helping out many young rappers such as Gunna and Lil Baby, he had nothing but positive things to say about Juice WRLD and the music career that he achieved. He appeared on the No Jumper podcast to share,
freestyle, he really don't write. If you give him a subject, he go rap right now. Half the time, he really freestyles the whole verse. Yeah, he'll really freestyle the whole verse. You can't compete with him. He just one of the ones. He's smart as a... He never run out of nothing to say. He's that smart.
This would then lead into another rapper that Juice WRLD truly helped get noticed on one of the biggest stages, and this would be Roddy Ricch. Now, surprisingly, the two never had a close relationship with each other, but that didn't change the fact that Juice WRLD did Roddy Ricch a huge solid at Coachella in 2019, as Roddy Ricch himself would reminisce on his memories alongside Juice WRLD.
One thing that I did respect was when he brought me to Coachella and I was on stage and I got to share that moment with him. That's when I had, not to say I didn't respect him before, but my respect had grew real deep for him because he showed love when he didn't really have to.
And you know that was not the only rapper that Juice WRLD would help out, as he loved helping out newer artists in the music industry, which is when he gave a free verse to the Kid Laroi for his hit single titled Go. Now, Juice gave Laroi a huge boost to start off his career. Kid Laroi even hopped on an interview to speak about his experience with Juice WRLD.
I learned a lot of stuff being around him and his process and how he records.
Most rappers would probably be making a mistake if they tried to record the way that Juice did.
No, 100. He was the GOAT, the best.
Now, he also spoke on how Juice WRLD influenced him during his come-up. Having Juice sort of as his mentor was a huge thing for the beginning of his career.
And the other thing that I took away was really getting in touch with your emotions when making a song. That's one thing that I feel like he did perfectly.
Now, this would even lead into Chicago rapper Lil Durk, as Lil Durk also had his part to share on the legendary Lucid Dreams rapper as he hopped on an interview to speak on collaborating with Juice WRLD.
Who'd you get in there with that you were like actually hyped to work with?
That I wanted to do it with, I'm gonna say Juice WRLD.
So like, what was that like? You guys actually get in the studio together?
Yeah, we got like 7 songs just off the first studio.
Although getting into another rapper, this rapper didn't really have the best of relationships with Juice WRLD, and this would be Tekashi 6ix9ine, as Juice WRLD started beef with Tekashi back in the day. When Juice was performing once at a nightclub, he got the entire crowd to start chanting F6ix9ine. Obviously, 6ix9ine would not like this, and he would release a video on social media where he quickly went after Juice, trying to clown him for his music. However, 6ix9ine later then revealed on Instagram Live that the two resolved their beef with each other once Juice WRLD reached out to him.
Look what Juice WRLD said. This is one reason I respect Juice WRLD, right? This is when I was clowning him. He messaged me. Look, Juice WRLD wrote me and said, yo, that video's so funny, I can't stop watching it. And you know what I said? I said, yo, call me. He said, you taking over the world. I said, peace, king. He said, what's your number? I sent.
Now, despite having issues with one another, Juice was still able to laugh it off, and he even became cool with each other after the beef. He'd never hold grudges against someone. Juice just didn't have that hatred inside of him. But moving into Juice WRLD's video director for many of his big music videos, this would be none other than Cole Bennett of Lyrical Lemonade. He had sweet thoughts to share about Juice that I needed to add, as these two worked together from the very start when they released hit songs such as All Girls Are the Same, as well as the Lucid Dreams music videos. Now, Cole Bennett was a huge help to Juice WRLD's music career in the beginning, so it's only right that he should be shared in this video.
He's just always ready. I mean, he could have been up for 4 days. He could have been in the studio the whole night. He could, he could keep going. Like, his work ethic was amazing. I mean, it was really unmatched in a lot of ways.
But another man behind the scenes that was helping Juice WRLD in a massive way would be Benny Blanco, as these two worked together on a few songs, with the most notable one being his hit song Graduation in 2019. Benny's worked in the music industry now for decades, and he still says that Juice was easily the most talented he's ever seen.
He goes in and does the entire song from start to finish, the whole song, the entire thing. So he does the whole song and he goes, all right, run it back again. Pick the best one. In that moment, my jaw dropped. And I said, oh, I'm in the room with a superstar.
This would even lead into rapper David Byrd, who also had to share how special it truly was to see Juice WRLD's freestyles.
You know who the best freestyle I've ever seen is?
Yeah.
Juice WRLD. Have you ever seen his freestyles?
Yeah.
They're never ending. Like, you can do it for like an hour. And
yeah.
He makes total sense the entire time and is actually really good, like intricate flow patterns. To me, he was the best freestyle I've ever seen.
However, this would even lead into two other rappers with huge names in the music industry sharing their times with Juice WRLD, as Post Malone would share his praise for Juice during this interview.
I wasn't necessarily close with him, but I got to speak to him, a couple times, and just the sweetest guy.
And this would even later show a Lil Yachty interview where he spoke about Juice WRLD. Mind you, this is a little older of a clip of Lil Yachty, but it's still important to add him in this video.
He had a lot going on, like just around him. He had a lot of personal things, but he was really smart. He was really talented, and rapping was something that he was extremely good at.
Now, XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD also had some contact with each other before X's sudden passing, as Juice WRLD released a conversation between the two on Instagram, as X messaged Juice saying, "You are the truth, just be careful what you manifest." That's my honest response. If you need anything, ask me. I read good energy from you. Make sure that's the only energy you put yourself around. With Juice WRLD responding, "Much appreciated, but how can I surround myself with good energy when it's bad energy everywhere, it seems like?" And Juice WRLD himself would actually speak on this further during an interview.
We planned on, I ain't never meet him in person, we planned on linking up.
All through social media?
Yeah, FaceTime and stuff.
What was the last conversation you guys had?
About us meeting. I FaceTimed him, I'm like, because he said something the day before, and I was like, oh yeah, you was right about that.
From street beef to OGs putting respect on his name, this is rappers speaking on Lil Durk. Beginning with NBA YoungBoy, he's had terrible relations with Lil Durk for a long time now. However, at the beginning in 2017, the two were actually really good friends, as they dropped their song titled My Side, as Lil Durk jumped on an interview excited about new music with NBA YoungBoy, and even saying that he wants Rondo No. 9 and YoungBoy to collab.
If I don't do nothing, I'm making him and NBA YoungBoy do a mixtape.
Wow.
For sure. I'm gonna stay on top of that.
Damn, that's crazy. That's somebody you're a huge fan of right now?
YoungBoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, with him.
He got that soul, that passion, and huh?
With him. Like 100%, like hard.
For sure, yeah.
He one of my he my top 5 for sure.
From that moment, the friendship between the two would sadly slowly start to fade. This was until King Von's passing. Once King Von sadly passed, almost immediately issues between the two would arise. King Von ultimately passed at the hands of YoungBoy's artists Quando Rondo and Lil Tim. Now this could have been caused after King Von was joking about YoungBoy on IG Live.
YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this one.
Oh yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his man. On his cap. You got cap in your raps. Why be a straight not catch him is that?
Over a year after his passing, YoungBoy made a message out to Lil Durk out of money that read, "You guys are gonna pass." Now Lil Durk responded to him with a message saying back to YoungBoy, "Hurry up then," with NBA YoungBoy then replying with, "Stay safe." Within a matter of days after their Instagram posts back and forth at each other, Lil Durk would then drop the hit song, Aha, where he goes after YoungBoy with multiple disses throughout the song. The next day after, YoungBoy would then drop his song titled I Hate YoungBoy, where he would rap the lyrics, and I quote, "Clean up on ILO, youngin' let that chop blow. My brother let that stick blow, no, that's my smoke." Now, ever since their diss tracks on each other, the beef to the public eye has now quieted down for a little bit. However, Lil Durk was caught in an interview where he acted like there was zero beef with YoungBoy, or just acted like he didn't even know him.
DJ Academics is saying you and NBA YoungBoy's beef is done. Is that true?
What beef?
Oh, so there's no beef.
Beef who?
NBA YoungBoy?
Shut up, Morgan.
Although this is probably just because Lil Durk is highly famous now and he isn't trying to get in trouble with the law in case anything goes down, but just a few days ago, NBA YoungBoy would release this audio saying it's his game now.
And all you gonna exit out the game as soon as I walk inside the door. You ain't nothing they could ever compare to me. Here to stay, and this is my game, this is my rules. Ain't nothing going on without top saying so. So close your mouth when you run your.
Now we would even see NLE Choppa share his part in the beef between YoungBoy and Durk, where he would side with Lil Durk over YoungBoy, as these two have had a friendship now for quite some time. Lil Durk bringing him out to a show back in 2019. NLE Choppa spoke about it in an interview with DJ Academics.
He was on tour with Durk, and they brought me out. It was a show in Philly, bro. And they brought me out and they embraced me. They showed love. They was the first people to show me love, bring me out on stage, play my song, let me turn up with them. Like, that was the first time I ever felt that from any artist.
Choppa continued sharing that despite the unfortunate passing of his best friend King Von, Lil Durk should try not to retaliate. Maybe then could even escape the street cycle of people passing.
When after this happened with Von and all that, a lot of all that was happening, bro, I was the one really in bro ear, like, know what I'm saying? I don't want to be this person in your ear to be like, know what I'm saying? Let that chill, like, don't move on it. But bro, I'm gonna be that person to let you know, bro, like, this cycle we in is a never ending cycle. Cause at the end of the day, bro, we one person, we got one conscious mind.
As NLE is always respecting past people. That's why he doesn't want anyone speaking badly on King Von. Speaking of passings, a lot of them usually happen in the Chicago streets. As our next rapper is FBG Duck, who had sadly passed a few years ago, and he even spoke his mind on Lil Durk. The two were always against each other in the street life. Duck had this to say about people trying to pick a side between him and Lil Durk.
You know me.
Yeah, I know you.
You know what I'm saying? I don't put other than what I got going on with the next man.
You never have. And that's
I never do. If they feel like they gotta show them that much respect, right. So it ain't really about with Dirk, so ain't.
Right.
Because you ain't grow up with Dirk. You don't owe him no loyalty that you think you owe him. You see what I'm saying? Like, to feel like you can't make money with the next man.
He even said on an IG Live that he would even listen to Lil Durk's songs.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I listen to a Dirk song if it's decent.
Other than the bad beef that he has had with these rappers, many rappers actually also have good relations with Lil Durk, as we would see Durk and J. Cole's recent collaboration be released titled All My Life, as J. Cole shared his love for Lil Durk's music in the past, and these two were finally able to create a song together. The song is already popping off and will become a massive hit, but when Lil Durk got asked about J. Cole being on a song with him, he showed massive respect for J. Cole, saying that J. Cole outdid him on his own song.
The number one thing on that for one. Barely. That barely happens. But shout out J. Cole, shout out Dr. Luke. You know what I'm saying? We made it happen.
Getting into a fellow Chicago rapper alongside Durk is we have G Herbo, as he says he's maintained a good friendship with Durk. He even spoke his mind about reaching out to Lil Durk during an interview, where he would say this.
Yeah, you know, I'll reach out to bro on a regular basis. So, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, recently after the, you know, the untimely passing of his brother. Of course, I reached out. Yeah, you know, we locked in.
This would even lead into an OG of the rap game being 50 Cent, where he said there's no way Durk is doing what he raps about. If he was, he wouldn't be nearly as successful as he is today.
When you see like Durk and these other artists that come out that have that like the element that is coming straight out of the environment. What the music is saying is not who they actually are. Like and it's the same thing with me too. Or you wouldn't be able to grow past those points. You would just look, the guy who does exactly what I'm saying and is not successful.
We would even see Soulja Boy pop out on an interview to thank Lil Durk for pushing his album date because they were initially supposed to both drop on the same day.
I saw you thanked him, or you shouted him out.
I shouted him out. That's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you see him on the internet tweaking, obviously it means something to me. You feel me? You know, I don't know 100% the reason why he did it, but he did it. You feel what I'm saying? So I respect that. I'm like, man, that's real. If one of my partners was we drop an album on the same day and he had a problem with it, I push my back.
As Soulja would even follow it up by talking about Durk's collaboration with J. Cole.
Did you listen to his new record with J. Cole? I think it's...
Yeah, I heard it. It's different. It sounds different. It's different for sure.
Moving on from Soulja, we would even see a rapper that has one of the darkest beefs with Lil Durk, being Tekashi 6ix9ine. They've had a long history of battling back and forth with each other. Funny enough, they were actually cool with each other before Tekashi got hit with a RICO charge. In the summer of 2018, 6ix9ine and Lil Durk hopped on an IG Live together to try to calm down a feud that was going on. This was a feud between 6ix9ine and Chief Keef. Although this would not work out, 6ix9ine would even then go on to visit O Block later that year and try to act like O Block wasn't even about it.
O Block right here. This what y'all wanted me in Chicago. O Block right here. I should call no block. It's 10 o'clock. That ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m.
But this would end up with 6ix9ine getting exposed for the video a few weeks later, as he claimed in the video that it was 10 o'clock. But security footage revealed that it was actually 3 in the morning. Plus, Tekashi 6ix9ine also looked like he was very scared the entire time that he was out of his vehicle, from constantly checking around him, and once even a vehicle pulled up to O Block, he was seen quickly jumping back into his SUV and driving off. However, this was only the beginning of 6ix9ine trying to mess with Lil Durk and O Block, as once the news broke that 6ix9ine was snitching out of his RICO charge, Lil Durk quickly hopped back on Twitter, saying F 6ix9ine, snitch. Even Lil Durk's boy King Von said that Nicki Minaj jumping on 6ix9ine's song titled Trolls was a huge mistake. As King Von would say, damn, and I used to love Nicki Minaj. I know so many people that will do anything to make it, going against every moral and breaking every code, turn on every friend just for a taste of the fast life, desperate and easily moved people. A month later, 6ix9ine would then throw shade in Durk's direction, saying that he isn't big enough to sell out stadiums worldwide.
Durk try to drop, Lil Durk is just a local. We know he's a local. He's never had #1. Yeah, but all right, let me ask you something. Can Lil Durk sell out a tour? Can Lil Durk sell out 5,000 people in the Netherlands?
I wouldn't say it.
Durk would then go back at 6ix9ine in his verse on Drake's Laugh Now, Cry Later video. Can you not play that Lil Boy in the club? Cause we do not listen to rats, is the lyrics that Lil Durk would rap. But Tekashi 6ix9ine had no morals when it came to his rivalry with Durk, as he showed up to O Block once again after his release from prison. This time he had a hand of flowers mocking Lil Durk's late cousin Newski. King Von would then go on to respond, saying that all of this is not funny and he's got to stop playing around.
6ix9ine ain't cool. I don't know, they got this man running around. It's funny. Yeah, funny. This man, cause it's like this. I don't know. I don't get no 6ix9ine. I don't know. But he told him all type of people. They people locked up and his people, family members. And people gotta take care of them people. And them people got kids, and them people, you know, it's like he done told on. After heard he told on a lot of people, like, so I know it's people like he probably ain't did, and he told on them.
Now Lil Durk would take this back into his own hands on his Instagram.
Rat. You can't compete with a rat on the street. You know what I'm saying? And I keep telling y'all that. Start responding to that clown.
However, sadly, not much later, we would then see the unfortunate passing of King Von, which only gave more fuel to 6ix9ine to continue on with his trolling. He jumped into Lil Durk's Insta comment saying, "Newski, now Von, and you're still rapping? Go pick up a firearm." He'd even take it as far as to the point where he printed out a picture of King Von. He put it on a t-shirt and even wore it around Chicago. Just recently, the two are even beginning to spark up beef again, as we saw a clip of 6ix9ine saying that he wants to get in the ring with Durk.
Yeah. Yo, you get Lil Durk in the ring right now. I will volley him on King Bones. Yo, he gonna hit me with shit he's doing right now. Nothing. He gonna hit me with the, yo, bro, you making it hot right now. Chill.
Now Lil Durk would then respond. He hopped in 6ix9ine's DM saying this message: "I do not want to hurt you or passing. You're a kid from the burbs. I got 50 million of my own money without help. To box you on TV in Dubai, we can double the money in 3 rounds. Go talk to your rich friends. Let's set it up for September." Now 6ix9ine then responded stating, "It's so funny because I know you're on an album press run. You need anything to promote this album since NBA YoungBoy is not biting the bait. But I want to box you for no money, for free. Come to Miami. Let's get a hotel room and just throw down one-on-one." To which Durk then replied, "Bait? Hotel? Oh no, I'm cool. Enjoy your day. I'm not worried about sales. I just wanted to get you for some money." Now assuming the two would continue back and forth, they might get into the ring together soon.